Let me ask you this question though. Why do you believe financial freedom and having no debt is the best route to go for you personally?
For me personally, I knew that I woke up every day with anxiety knowing that I had debt. I owed someone else. I didn't want to be in a position where I owed anyone for anything. I didn't want to be in a position where anyone could take anything away from me. Everything I have today, no one could take it away. No one could take away your degree. No one could take away my business, like all those things. So for me, I wanted to become debt-free, to have that freedom to basically say, hey, like I can work on my own terms. I don't have to worry about paying back the man. And it also kind of went along the same vein of make sure I decrease my expenses to a point where I can start my own business. Yeah. Because what people fail to realize is that when you start your own business, the paycheck that you're getting month after month is based off of the expenses that you incur month after month, right? So like if you're able to lower that threshold, and let's say you only need $3,000 a month, then that means you only need to bring in theory, $3,000 in order to break even. Likely you need more than that because of taxes and all that stuff, but that's another conversation. Yeah. But that was my whole mentality. I said, hey, like I want to work on my own means. I want to have my own company. And frankly, when I was at Vanguard and I was working in private equity and I was working in fintech, I told myself I can do it better myself. Ooh. I can help the people that look like me go off and become millionaires and multimillionaires. But what I was doing when I was at Vanguard and when I was a stockbroker and a financial advisor was I was making millionaires multimillionaires, but not helping the people from where I'm from invest. So that's where Better Wallet truly started.
Yo, bro, you just said something that I want to make sure that people heard. You are helping millionaires become multimillionaires, but you were not helping people who look like you and I become millionaires.
Right.
And I think that is so important to understand to people. To why do people like you and I have a passion for our community? Because we are not even becoming 100,000aires. It was on, I got it right here on my computer. It's the, it's the McKinsey and Company company. They came out with this study 2 years ago called the Economic State of Black Americans, What Is and What Could Be. They do this study every 3 years. And they say that the average, not the average, less than 50% of, or 48% of black men are gonna make $38,000 a year.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people who look like you and I, that's almost half of black men are gonna make below poverty, $38,000 a year. And then it said the other side will make about $48,000 a year, but then only 7% of black people will make over 6 figures.
Wow.
And then here you are saying, you know what, I can help my people go from 38,000 to 100,000 to $500,000 to $1 million. But it's so funny how you're right. The millionaires are becoming multimillionaires.
Right. Yeah, and I realized that during times where the market wasn't doing all too well, and I would get calls from the multimillionaires saying like, my life is in danger. Like I feel like I'm in a crisis because the market's not doing well and I'm losing money. And I had to think about it. I'm like, what problem am I solving? I'm helping them with tax strategies. I'm helping them build their portfolio. I'm helping them with just trying to limit the volatility within their portfolio. And I'm like, but am I actually helping to solve the challenge that's at hand? The wealth gap, right? Like I talk about that heavy on my page because it's so important. And I was like, am I helping to widen it or am I helping to, bring it in or shorten it? So from there, I started working on what I call my pandemic project, which is Better Wallet. And then from there, it took off from there. So you find one person that needs some help, you find 2 people, you find 100,000, you find 200,000. And it's been going from there.
We have to close the wealth gap.
Yes, sir.
It actually helps it helps the world. It doesn't just help black people. It helps the world. When we can get our black families healthier and wealthier, starting businesses, it now helps the world because now those black families can employ other people.
Right.
When we employ the people, we help the economy.
Yes, sir.
So it's like it helps all people when black people and white people and Asian people win.
Right.
And it's like, whoo, boy, Better Wallet here talking. He in here talking. He is in here talking. Man, how do we help close the wealth gap? So what is one thing that Better Wallet is doing to help close that wealth gap?
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of things, but primarily what we're doing is helping people streamline their finances, make sure they're not spending money on things that they shouldn't, in order for them to invest more, in order for them to grow wealth for their family. Tax efficiently, right? I think a lot of times we talk about, okay, we need to build generational wealth, but we truly only talk about building wealth, building their money, but like we're not talking about how can we pass on to our kids, how can we pass on tax efficiently, how can we build trust funds, right? Like all that stuff is really important. I feel like we miss a lot of that. So me stepping in as like a past financial advisor, I'm like, hey, here's the other part of that story. I can help you get up to wealth. I can get you to the point where you're investing your money, you're making money passively, but we also need to talk about how we're going to pass it down to our kids, and then how we also going to educate our kids and make sure that they aren't messing up the money once they get it. So it keeps going generation after generation.
That generational wealth is something very, very important to me. I don't have kids like you at 38. I don't even have a wife. I'm out here trying to find one. I'm dating. And it's like, for me, it's like, man, what am I building now that will generate a strong legacy for my kids down the road?
Yep. I've already started.
How?
I have a 529 plan for my future child.
Wow.
Already set up. I've been putting money into it for a long time.
Yeah.
At this point, I was just looking at the numbers before coming here. If I stop contributing right now and allow it to grow, they will already have more than $150,000 invested by the time, let's say they come out, 10 years from now, and then they have 18 years until they have to go off to school. They'll have, more than six figures already invested. So they can go off to school, they can go off to college, they can go get a certificate, whatever, but they can use that 529 money. So what you do is you invest before the kid's even born. Once the kid's born, they have a social security number. You transfer the account over to them, allow it to grow. A lot of people say, okay, well, 18 years isn't enough to invest. Yeah. I mean, given the tuition rates and how they've been climbing, assuming your kid's going off to a 4-year university, I get it. Like you don't have a lot of time and you have to contribute a lot over a course of 18 years. But you can start now. If you're thinking about having a child, or if you know that one day you'll have a kid, you can start putting money into a 529 account now and then transferring over to your kid a little bit later when they're born.